There are so many myths in the nutrition world, but I think among the most common myths are around weight loss. And today I want to talk to you about the 5 most common weight loss myths that you might still believe, and we're going to debunk them together. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. My name is Katie. I'm a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer, and on the channel we talk about how to have a healthier relationship with food and fitness without having to diet or obsessively count calories or macros. If that resonates with you, then I definitely recommend subscribing and joining the Dark Blue community. All right, let's hop straight into it. The 5 common weight loss myths that you may still believe. I can already sense I need water for this because I'm gonna be talking a lot. Myth number 1 is that you have to have an extreme calorie deficit, AKA you've probably heard 1,200 calories in order to lose weight. This number, I think, is kind of one of those arbitrary numbers that just poofed into existence somewhere along the line, and I'm really not sure. And then we just ran with it, kind of like how BMI was not even supposed to measure how we actually measure health. It just was a number that was used long ago, and then somehow we just ran with it and use it for health measures today. It's one of them things, but 1,200 calories I think is probably like the bare minimum that your body can function on. And I think that might be where this number comes from. It's the bare minimum. That by no means means that it's the goal, even if you have a decent amount of weight that you want to lose. What happens when you have too few calories is oftentimes your metabolism slows down, oftentimes as in most times, your metabolism slows down significantly. And so instead of burning a lot of calories like you might have been before, your body goes into a mode where it's like, okay, where did all my calories go? I'm feeling a little insecure about when I might get adequate energy next, so I'm gonna conserve that energy and slow things down, AKA your metabolism, so you're not just burning ATP or energy in your body and wasting it away unnecessarily. And this is a good thing, like back in the day when you were actually maybe starving or you couldn't find enough food, and so you had to make it last. Your body is trying to protect you in that circumstance. So it's kind of our body's primal response to underfueling, and it's there to protect us. But in terms of weight loss, it's really not productive. Eating too few of calories, or like the bare minimum recommendation, is not just like this magic number that helps anyone and everyone lose weight. I think you have to find the individual number that works for you, but even though I don't love recommending to focus on weight loss alone, I like to focus on habit building and, just building healthier habits like eating more fruit, exercising more, finding things that you enjoy that are outdoors or that make you happy, that improve your mental health and your physical health. I like focusing on that way more, but since we are talking weight loss in this video in particular, I will say though, I would find what my client is most likely burning, like an average or an estimated amount that they are burning in a day, and subtract maybe 250 calories from that total. And I know that may not sound like a ton, but hear me out. If you are subtracting 250 calories and then you are also exercising, so maybe hypothetically, if you're exercising for 30 minutes, say you burn another 200 to 250 calories. That's a 500 calorie deficit, and that is absolutely enough to lose a small and manageable amount of weight, and then over time you can lose weight more consistently and more long term. The faster you lose weight, the more likely it is to come right back. So I like to do it in a really slow and manageable way instead of an extreme way that, yes, may be super exciting at the beginning, but it just doesn't last because it's not sustainable. All right, that was a really long number 1. Sorry about that. Number 2 kind of pairs in with this though. So let's head into myth number 2. Myth number 2 is that you should pair an extreme calorie deficit with extreme exercise. Now, again, this kind of goes into what we just talked about, but I think furthermore, pressing into this topic, when you are someone who is extremely active and you are trying to lose weight at the same time, going too low in your calories is really gonna actually hinder your progress with your fitness. Because most of the time, if you think about it, when we are fit and active, one of our goals is probably most likely to get stronger and to gain some sort of muscle tone. Whatever that goal may be for you, I'm sure in some degree that is what you hope to achieve with exercise. Also very good for mental health. But again, we are talking more on the weight loss side of things for this video. So just want to say one of the top reasons that I exercise is for mental health. But I do understand there is also like a physique component to it, and that is totally normal. I also have those goals too. So just want to normalize both sides of that for this video. But when you are trying to gain muscle or strength, you actually have to have a calorie surplus in order to gain that muscle. So I can remember back in the day when I was severely under eating and had an exercise addiction, I would exercise like 2 hours a day and barely see any sort of muscle growth. And looking back, I'm like, duh, of course, because I didn't have the ability to create and build back the muscle tissue, because in recovery, my body is like, okay, well, I guess we just have to use these calories to keep this girl alive. Your body focuses on the essentials first, and then once it has enough energy to fuel the essential, then you can do the more quote unquote trivial things like nourishing your hair, nourishing your skin, your nails. Do you like my nails, by the way? And things like muscle growth. So you can't have muscle if you're not eating enough. So I would not recommend having an extreme low calorie diet paired with extreme exercise. Just not a good idea in general. Have a more modest approach like we talked about in myth number 1. Myth number 3 that I commonly see in the weight loss community is that it's just some normal thing to lose 5 pounds a week and keep it off. It's frustrating, but at the same time, I understand, because it's much more sexy to think that you can lose 5 pounds a week than it is to lose ½ pound to 1 pound a week. I understand it. It's one of those things, but I have to say it. Okay, now just to clarify, is it physically possible to lose 5 pounds in a week? Yes. Is it sustainable and is it normal? No. The thing with quick fixes and diets that promise weight loss really fast is that it doesn't really teach you how to build healthy habits long term that are going to keep you healthy, strong, lean, and feeling good in the long term. So we're not talking a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now. We're talking like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Which would you rather have? Probably the lifelong sustainable version, I would hope. And that's what I'm talking about with this one here. So I'm not trying to discourage anyone into saying like, oh, there's no way that you can lose the weight. There absolutely is. I'm just saying that slow and steady wins the race. Like, imagine taking some magic pill that made you super athletic in the moment, and you were so athletic by taking this magic pill that you got into the Olympics. And then once you were at the Olympics, you were like, wait, I can't do anything without this magic pill. Like, I didn't train for this. I don't know how to train long term for the Olympics to win it. Yeah, like, that's my bad analogy to the difference between something that's going to give you quick fix weight loss results in the short term and something that's going to work in the long term. The next myth that I commonly see in the weight loss community is that cleanses are going to help you jumpstart your weight loss. Now, this one is always fun, and you definitely see it a lot, whether it's in pill form or shake form or smoothie form or whatever. or tea form. That's the most common one I've seen lately, is like skinny tea. It's like, oh my God. And typically what these cleanses are is simply a diuretic or a laxative. A diuretic is essentially something that helps you pee a lot. So you are technically like, cleansing pee out of your body. And then the second form is the laxative, which again, it helps you go number 2 really, really easily. I would not recommend taking a cleanse if you have anything to do that day or the next day or anything like that. I wouldn't recommend it in general, but definitely not if you're doing that. You're not gonna have fun. Okay, so the thing with cleanses is that your body doesn't need an external cleanse to cleanse itself. Your body has kidneys and a liver for those exact reasons, and both your kidney and your liver help you process toxins and other things that your body doesn't need in excess amounts or that it doesn't need in general, and it helps you excrete them through urine and through, going to the bathroom. So you already have everything that you need in your body to cleanse your body. And if anything's wrong with your kidneys or your liver, then you definitely don't want to take a sketchy supplement to help it more, because that is not going to help it more. It's going to probably cause more harm. So definitely go to your doctor if you have any issues with kidney or liver function, anything like that. Do not let the YouTube people diagnose you or tell you that you need any type of cleanse. Yeah. I'm sure they're getting plenty of affiliate commission from those cleanses, but they are not worth your time or your money or your GI tract. All right, and myth number 5 about weight loss that I commonly see is my friend lost X amount in X amount of time, and so I should expect to have the same results. Again, unfortunate, but not true. We are so different. We all have different genetics, different metabolism. We have different, needs, different activity levels, and that makes it so really there's no one size fits all. It also depends a lot on your starting point. Like if you are someone who is 500 pounds versus someone who is 200 pounds, your rate at which you lose weight is probably going to be completely and utterly different. Also, if you're a male versus if you're a female, men tend to have a higher metabolism naturally because they have more muscle mass per body weight, and women naturally, because we have childbearing bodies, we have more fat mass naturally. This isn't a good or bad thing, it's just a neutral thing, but I just want to explain the difference anatomically, because I think some women think like, oh my gosh, I have so much more body fat than my husband or my boyfriend or whatever, and that's completely and utterly natural. In fact, if you go under a certain level of body fat mass, then you don't have a period, and so you definitely don't want to do that. You want to have the optimal amount of fat mass on your body so your body can do its thing and your hormones can function optimally. But anyway, back to this myth, we all have such different bodies that there's no way that we can expect to see the same results from our Aunt Susie that we see in ourselves. We kind of have to, separate the two and be on our own path when it comes to weight loss, and try not to be too comparative to the people around us, because that can ultimately lead to behaviors that could lead to disordered eating habits and an unhealthy relationship with food. And that's definitely not what I want for you. And listen, I know in the intuitive eating space especially, I see a lot of different conversations that some of them, view weight loss in a neutral sense. Some view it as a bad thing. I don't view weight loss as necessarily like a bad thing that we should demonize, but I do think that we should be focusing less on weight as the only measure of health and more on habits and how we feel mentally and physically. And, of course, with our lab results at the doctor, things like that should be more of our measure and guide to health than just weight alone. I think it's just one of those things that's not super highly productive, although I know it is something that can be motivating for some people, and I totally respect that. I just want to say, I am not against it if you are trying to lose weight. I am not going to judge you harshly or, be like, on attack if you have the desire to lose weight. It's just one of those things that our society kind of glorifies a lot of times. And so I want to bring it back to earth sometimes and say, okay, this is what needs to be debunked about some of the methodology behind, all these weight loss tips that you see on the internet, because a lot of times these people are not certified or credentialed in anything health or nutrition related, and those are the people that are trusted to be bestowing advice onto the internet community. So that is exactly why I created this YouTube channel, to be honest. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me for today's chat, and let me know what myths you would like me to debunk in the next video. I definitely enjoyed talking about this topic because I think it's such a relevant topic in the internet community. So I would love to do it again. Let me know what you'd like to hear more about, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you can join our Dark Blue community. I have links to how to work with me and how to join this community and connect even further in the description box below. And I will leave a link to a video that I think you'll really love right here if you want to continue chatting with me today. All right, see you in the next video.